Let's jump right in here with the first question. Your book, Hezbollah, explores the history and the rise of Hezbollah as we know. So can you tell us a little bit about how the organization has evolved since then, and how do you perceive its current role in the region?
I mean, first, let's simplify it. Hezbollah came about, or grew, or was born as a result of the Israeli invasion in Lebanon in 1982. So, if you want, the inception was because of that. Initially, it was a resistance group that included several. They started all before 1982. They all started during 1982. They all started as a Lebanese resistance. And Hezbollah then started preparing for its own initiative, which actually they declared in 1985. So officially the group came about in 1985 when they declared their manifesto and they declared that they are Hezbollah. And their whole ethos was about defending Lebanon, but also to resist against the occupation. Israel had invaded Lebanon in 1982. And it was supposed to be during Ariel Sharon's era. It was supposed to be a brief invasion to tackle what they refer to as the Palestinian problem in Lebanon, quote unquote Israeli terms. But then it ended up actually driving throughout Lebanon and into the capital, Beirut. Lebanon was occupied for several months. Beirut was occupied for several months. And it was actually under siege, etc., etc. And then so Hezbollah resistance started in 1982, and Hezbollah came about in 1985. Like I said, the main reason is to resist the occupation and drive them out. It started as a small resistance compared to today anyway, with very little means, but with men that believe that they had the right to defend and they had the right to resist. And it grew over the years. It made mistakes, like anybody does, but they had an ability, if you want, to assess, to look at their mistakes, to learn, and to readjust and to evolve. And that's why they've become now a power to be reckoned with and a deterrence to Israel.
Thank you so much. And just in your experience as a foreign correspondent, can you tell us a little bit how your reporting on maybe similar movements has influenced your kind of broader understanding of the Middle East and conflicts in the Middle East?
I mean, if I've learned anything over the years, is no army, no matter how large or how strong, can actually occupy a country and not have resistance. And every country that is occupied has a resistance. Nobody agrees, for somebody else to just come and take a piece of the land. If we look at, like I said, I was there from its inception, if you want, and watched the growth and the evolution of Hezbollah. But then after that, also in Iraq, I saw similarities happening in Iraq as well, when the Americans came and invaded and occupied with the coalition. And you started having groups on the ground, various factions from various sects, also developing themselves or growing into resistance. And then you had the resistance in Iraq that are under various factions as well. But they have one main goal, which is to drive the Americans or the occupation at the time out of Iraq. Now, I mean, Palestinians have always been resisting pre-Hezbollah and pre-everybody, because historically Palestinian land has been taken, and historically they were fighting to regain their territories and also to have a country of their own. So Palestinian histories over the year has seen various forms and shapes of resistance under various factions and under various groups. And then Hamas started happening as well. I mean, then you had the Intifada number 1, Intifada number 2. Hamas was actually a group that was initially supported and even aided and financed by the Israelis themselves in order to counter the PA, and because Israel did not want to have did not want to have a Palestinian state, full stop, and definitely did not want the PA to be strong. So they've had Hamas, but when things got bad and Hamas decided that it needs to turn into to have a wing, if you want, a proper resistance wing, Hamas came about, and Hamas is just an acronym for the name, but. The point is also most of these resisting groups in the region, and what now is known as the axis of resistance. They have also, up to a large point, they have modeled themselves around Hezbollah's growth and model. So Hamas over the years has been engaged with Hezbollah. They have coordinated, they have worked together, they have exchanged information, ideas, experiences, technology, support, and so on and so forth. So all these groups now look up to Hezbollah, if you want, as the you know, like the godfather, you know, the model, that the father that we look up to, and they're also you know, trying to develop themselves into that kind of force. And Hamas now has grown into a force also to be reckoned with.